Measure and mark a 30-foot line on the floor. Find the midway point at 15 feet and mark it. Start straddling the center line and begin by sprinting to the right and touching the line at 15 feet with your right hand. Sprint back to the left. Cross the midpoint and touch the far line with your left hand, 30 feet away. Plant and push off, sprinting back through the starting line. Athlete can decide which side they want to start from. Time starts from the first move of the athlete and stops when they cross the middle point. Test is performed once. Make a small mark on the floor about 1 foot long. Athlete positions themselves behind the line in the base ceiling position. Front foot is placed just behind the starting line. Have the timer standing at the finish line 30 feet away. The timer should start the clock at the first move of the athlete and stop it as soon as the athlete hits the finish line. Do 3 trials and average out the times. Mark 2 small lines on the floor 150 feet apart. Start at one end with both feet behind the line. The timer should start the stopwatch at the first move of the athlete as they begin running towards the second line. Once the athlete reaches the second line, they firmly plant the lead foot on the line and push off, once again sprinting back to the original line for one round trip. Repeat this round trip 3 times for a total distance covered of 900 feet. Start by lining 2 hurdles end to end on the floor, creating one long hurdle. Have a partner count the number of successful jumps the athlete can complete in 30 seconds. Begin by standing on one side of the cones. On the first move of the athlete, the clock will start on 30-second countdown. Keeping your feet together, hop as quickly as you can from side to side over the hurdles, making sure not to knock over a hurdle or you'll have to start over. The number of successful jumps completed at the end of 30 seconds is your score. A second recorder will be needed to help with this test as they'll be watching the athlete's heel make contact with the ground. Begin by marking a small line on the floor. Stand with toes just behind the line. Initiate the jump by crouching, leaning forward a bit at the trunk, swinging the arms backwards and then jumping horizontally as far as possibly as you can with swinging your arms forward. The second recorder will record where the athlete's heels land and measures the distance from the original line till the heel line. This measurement is recorded. From a standing position, the athlete touches their feet in front of their body. The first is the athlete touches the inside part of his right foot with his left hand. Then he or she touches their left foot using their right hand before performing the same task behind them. The athlete must perform as many cycles as possible during 30 seconds. A cycle is when the athlete makes 4 successful touches in a row. Athlete is standing facing a wall where a square is drawn on the wall. At the signal to begin, the athlete has to bring his right hip up so their calf-thigh angle is about 90 degrees. From this position, the athlete has to tap the wall with the toe of their feet 2 consecutive times, or a double touch, before doing the same thing with the other foot. The square is 18 inches by 18 inches. It is recommended to have 2 squares at different heights so athletes can both be at 90-degree angle depending on their height. The number of touches done in 15 seconds is the final score recorded. A line is placed 2 meters from the wall. The athlete stands behind the line facing the wall. The ball is thrown from one hand in an underarm action against the wall, an attempt to be caught with the opposite hand. The ball is transferred to the other hand so it is repeated as many times as possible. The number of completions in 30 seconds is the final score. Athlete is placed behind the starting line located 5 meters from the wall. Athlete needs a tennis ball. Athlete must throw the tennis ball against the wall in an overhand or sidearm action. Time starts at the first movement. The number of times the athlete throws and fields the ball in 30 seconds is recorded. A 3 foot by 3 foot quadrant is marked out on the floor. Mark the starting line. The subject stands with both feet together at the starting line. When they are ready, they jump across the line into the first quadrant, then, in sequence, into other quadrants. The pattern is continued as fast as possible for 10 seconds. The number of touches in 10 seconds is your score. Place a measuring tape on the wall. Ask the athlete to stand at one edge of the wall with their two hands straight forward in front of them. When they are ready, ask them to bend forward and go as far as possible without losing balance and without their heels leaving the floor. Record the distance reached using the measuring tape. Using a line on the floor, ask the athlete to stand on the line with one foot in front of the other. Ask the athlete to place their two arms on the side of their body with their head straight and facing forward. At the go signal, ask the athlete to close their eyes, trying to maintain their balance for 30 seconds. An athlete will only succeed or fail in this test. Test stops when the arm leaves the body or when the foot is off the floor. Place a measuring tape on the wall. Ask the athlete to place their long finger at one edge of the tape. Athlete will then bring their chest to the wall, extending the other arm as far as they can so a measurement can be made at their farthest point.